CNN, 10 U.S. Navy sailors are missing after a U.S. Navy guided missile destroyer collided with an oil tanker east of Singapore early Monday, the fourth accident in Asian waters involving a U.S. warship in 2017. The Navy's 7th Fleet said the USS John S. McCain collided with the merchant vessel Alnic MC while the destroyer was making its way to a port visit in Singapore. The collision was reported at 5:24 a.m. local time, east of the Malacca Strait, one of the world's most congested shipping routes. The Navy reported significant hull damage to the McCain, saying there was flooding in berthing compartments as well as machinery and communication rooms. The collision comes at a time of high tensions in the Pacific. A U.S. 7th Fleet spokesman said Monday the McCain is one of 14 Aegis-equipped ships the Navy has forward deployed to Japan and it plans to add another next year. In total, the U.S. Navy has 84 vessels equipped with the Aegis system. Commander Clay Doss said the U.S. has a mixture of ships and aircraft available to cover all missions even without the McCain or USS Fitzgerald, the McCain's sister ship that was damaged in a June collision. No fuel or oil was seen on the water near the ship after the collision on Monday as it steamed under its own power to Changi Naval Base in Singapore, arriving in the afternoon, the Navy said. Malaysian officials said their ships and aircraft had joined the search for the missing U.S. sailors. The search area encompassed 100 nautical square miles, they said, describing sea conditions as rough, with waves up to 1 meter, 3.2 feet, high. In addition to the 10 missing sailors, the Navy said 5 were injured in the collision. 4 of those were flown by a Singapore Navy helicopter to a hospital in Singapore with non-life-threatening injuries, Navy said. U.S. helicopters and Marine Corps Osprey aircraft from the amphibious assault ship USS America were joining search and rescue efforts along with Singaporean ships and helicopters, the Navy said. The McCain collision marks the 4th incident involving a U.S. Navy warship in the Pacific this year. Military experts said the latest incident calls into question the Navy's training and will likely lead to a serious shake-up among the Navy's leadership. I can almost guarantee you that there will be a tumultuous shake-up in the senior leadership of at least the 7th Fleet and maybe the Navy in general, CNN military analyst Rick Francona said. The Navy is not looking good about now, especially when we need those Aegis-equipped ships for possible ballistic missile defense in a North Korean scenario, he added. In a report on the Fitzgerald collision released just last week, the Navy it would review its training and qualification procedures. The collision was avoidable and both ships demonstrated poor seamanship. Within Fitzgerald, flawed watchstander teamwork and inadequate leadership contributed to the collision, a 7th Fleet statement said. Carl Schuster, a former director of operations at the U.S. Pacific Command's Joint Intelligence Center, said the oil tanker would have been at least 3 times bigger than the USS John S. McCain. Oil tankers are huge and it takes miles for them to change course, he said. When you're going into a congested channel, you're supposed to be very alert, track ships around you to a very meticulous degree. At a press conference Monday afternoon, Malaysian authorities said both ships were heading towards Singapore from the South China Sea when the collision occurred. They described the area as very busy, with some 80,000 ships passing through it every year. Both ships should have reported into what the Malaysian authorities called a maritime traffic separation scheme, essentially air traffic control for ships. Francona said no matter what the tanker did, the faster, more nimble U.S. destroyer should have been able to avoid a collision. How does a state-of-the-art Navy destroyer equipped with multiple radar systems and communications gear with a full bridge watch not see, detect and evade a 30,000-ton slow-moving, 10 knots, behemoth? Francona asked. A U.S. Navy official told CNN the McCain had experienced a loss of steering before the collision, but that steering had been regained. The Maritime and Port Authority of Singapore said the Alnic sustained damage to a tank at its bow, about 7 meters, 23 feet, above the waterline. No one was injured on the tanker, it said, and no oil spill was reported. The McCain is named for the father and grandfather of U.S. Senator John McCain. Both of McCain's relatives were U.S. Navy admirals. The senator was a captain in the U.S. Navy. The vessel is 505 feet long and displaces about 9,000 tons.